In January 2020, the Sevens Roadshow rolled into Hamilton, New Zealand, the first part of a two-leg Australasian tour that would culminate in Sydney a week later. It's a month since the teams played tournaments in Dubai and Cape Town in consecutive weeks. Time then to go back-to-back again.
Come on, boys.
After the Christmas hiatus, this is an opportunity to get back up to speed and back into shape. For 28 teams in Hamilton, much will be decided in the next 2 weeks. This is live on the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series. No country invokes awe in the rugby community quite like New Zealand. This collection of Pacific islands with a total population of less than 5 million has had an impact on the rugby world far beyond its modest means. The All Black mystique looming large.
I think the passion for rugby in New Zealand's just, I don't know, it's a bit of a cultural thing. We grew up at school just playing with the rugby ball, throwing it around at lunchtime and playing on the beach and parks, and it's part of us. You grow up watching the All Blacks and all our kids dream to wear that jersey, and it's something you can be extremely proud of when you get to do it. But I think, yeah, in New Zealand it's just what we do in winter. We just play rugby and I love it.
In the 20 years the men's series has been running, New Zealand have won the title 12 times, but not since 2014. And they've not won in New Zealand since 2016. They are, however, on a roll. In Cape Town, New Zealand fought their way to a final appearance against the hosts. One converted try enough to take the title in a defensive struggle. Kudos to the men and to the women too. Victors over Australia in their final. That was 6 weeks ago, and some have yet to make it home.
Então, desde Cape Town, a gente não voltou para o Brasil, a gente veio direto para Nova Zelândia. Então, o time que jogou Dubai, Cape Town, estamos juntas faz 6 semanas já. Então, por umas 4 semanas, estamos aqui na Nova Zelândia treinando, jogando, interagindo com pessoas locais também, porque nosso treinador é neozelandês e sempre foi um sonho dele levar o Brasil para Nova Zelândia para ter esse contato com a cultura maori, a cultura neozelandesa, conhecer a família dele, mas de vir para o outro lado do mundo e sentir abraçadas e acolhidas por uma família também que faz a gente sentir tão em casa, longe de casa. Para a gente está sendo muito especial. Então, tivemos folga no Natal, folga no Ano Novo apenas, e o resto a gente está treinando. A gente fala que o nosso grupo da seleção é uma família. Alguém falou esses dias que é um casamento, dentro da alegria e tristeza, estamos juntos.
1, 2, 3, Brasil!
3 days out from kickoff and the teams gather for the captain's call photo shoot. New Zealand men and women front and centre. For the women, this is the first time the series has come to New Zealand. But in the land of the Hobbit, there are giants waiting in the wings to take advantage should either of the home teams relinquish their current grip on good fortune. For South Africa, Hamilton was a chance to dig deep into their roster. Stepan Hahn's added, so too Cecil Africa, Branko de Pree and former World Series Player of the Year, Werner Koch. Was this their A-team? It feels like they had all bases covered.
Yo, it's your boy, Double D. Pick a few lyrics and it's for free. One last thing you got to know. You're entering the main of the Chris Dry Show. We all on tour. Rugby field going to war. Yo, what's next? Gonna give it my best.
Chris Breezy in the building.
It's your boy Breezy. Episode 2 coming.
It's work hard, play hard in the South African camp. And it's a philosophy that has thus far served them well. The Blitzboks of New Zealand tied atop the table after 2 events. France, England, Argentina and the reigning champions Fiji, all looking to narrow that gap.
Yeah, I think whenever you've looked at sevens traditionally over the years, New Zealand had this aura for about 5 years. They were almost unplayable, unbeatable, and had a real thing about the way they went about the game. So to see them back on the top looking pretty, with South Africa as a challenger to it, I think it's pretty justified. They've gone really well this year. And you get Fiji, who can beat any team if they turn up and do what we know they're capable of doing. So it's almost a bit of a home fixture for Fiji and Samoa. So when those two come together, well, look, going to be cataclysmic. Around about 1:37 on the Saturday, Fiji versus Samoa for the men, going to be ace. And the women's, much more tighter. Said about that core group, those top 5 teams, all within catching distance.
New Zealand sit atop both the men's and women's tables. But there are 26 other teams here in Hamilton looking to upset the proverbial apple cart.
It's great play here in New Zealand. They live the rugby with a very passion. It's a beautiful country.
Argentina, Los Pumas, 7th in Dubai, 5th in Cape Town, 5th in the overall standings and higher than the likes of Fiji, the USA and Australia. Their coach Santi Gomez-Cora scored 230 tries for the Argentinian sevens team. Only 3 players, Dan Norton, Collins Injera and Tim Mickelson, have scored more in sevens history. Now he's looking for a slice of history as coach of a team that has finished top 4 just once in 20 seasons. After training, recovery and the ice baths, all part of the job for all teams, all players, no matter how experienced.
Hey, Pops. Easy thing.
The ice bath is usually a good way to help the muscles recover from the heats, from all the strain during a game. Definitely not my favorite mode of recovery, but you have to do it. You have to do what you have to do to get recovered for the next game.
Argentina and Kenya soothing the muscles, Scotland taxing the mind, sharpening their tactical wits, no doubt. Australia choose to scratch their competitive itch in different ways. Anything to while away the time, as the hours and minutes to game day count down.
SEVENS, what?
Morning.
A new day dawns in Hamilton, and for Team Fiji, it begins as any other. Time to get up, time to gather as a team, and welcome the new day together.
For us Fijians, the 2 most important things in our lives is our God and our family, and that is why we sing in the morning. That's devotion. That is our quiet time with our God. We give thanks to Him. We sing Him songs and we read the Bible, and we teach each other values that can help us not only in rugby, but in life, and that is why we always sing.
The Fijian national motto says, "Fear God and honour the Queen." On the World Sevens Series, "Fear Fiji" may be the more appropriate maxim. Current champions and winners of the series title in 3 of the last 5 years, winners in Hamilton the last 2 years, but this year has thus far been something of a disappointment. Just 9th and 4th place finishes in Dubai and Cape Town respectively. But spirits remain high.
How was training today?
Good. That was good.
And tell me about who's this man next to you?
This is my brother, Alexander Nanduba. You call him Flesh. The Flesh Tornado.
This is Wise Nadungu. He's like a king in his place. Like Aranba, he's a king. This guy. But he likes soccer. His favorite subject. His favorite is
Game day. And on arriving at the stadium, you can't help but wonder who the home side actually are.
Yeah, that's a good question. First time in Hamilton, we thought that we were playing in Missouri. I think we are the home team there.
Tuimamba now angling the other direction, back towards the poles.
The good thing about our New Zealand tournament is it is a bit of a home tournament for some other Pacific countries that don't have a tournament, and gets the crowds there, that's for sure.
The champions had been dealt a tough draw in Hamilton. After Samoa, they faced Australia. Tuai gets it back in field free. Kondo who pops it up. And away they go for what should be the match winner from Whakabulabu. Meanwhile, Argentina were convincing 40-0 winners over Samoa, and the two teams would meet in the pool stage finale. The Sevens game lasts just 14 frantic minutes. Fall behind early, and even the best can struggle to pull it back. The crossfield kick is good for Argentina, and they'll go in first.
Beautiful stuff, wasn't it?
Argentina is a really good team. We have talented players, very physical players, and it's always a learning for us.
In Hamilton, Fiji learned that Argentina take no prisoners. 1 try became 2, 2 became 3, and Argentina were 21 points up within 5 minutes.
Oh, are you serious? This is one way to silence the crowd.
It was too big a margin even for Fiji to overcome, and time ran out on their ambition to win a 3rd consecutive Hamilton title. A big scalp. A giant scalp for Santi Gomez-Cora, but Fiji were not the only big fish to flounder in the Hamilton heat.
Unfortunately, I think going into this tournament, we weren't clinical enough. I don't think we had the effort. I don't think we implemented what we wanted to achieve on the field, and it was just a disappointing start to the Australasian tour.
South Africa won their opening game against Japan, but came up short against England, who went on to top the group and qualify for the Final 4. South Africa were out, but there was still African pride to play for.
Yeah, I think
Playing against Kenya is always going to be a tough one.
Throws a dummy and then gives a nice short ball out to Otieno. 2-on-1 and back is in.
And here we go. Love to see Kenya enjoy themselves.
I think going into the South Africa game, we knew we had to get a big performance in there. They are part of our African brothers. So for us, meeting South Africa in Hamilton and managing to get that victory, a huge victory against them, was really nice.
To the man himself, Collins and Jeddah.
We know we can do it. I think it's just a matter of making sure we execute our plays well and making sure we minimize on our mistakes.
What is that move?
That's incredible.
I'm not one of the best dancers in the team.
Oh, they've got it all. Dancing with the stars.
We never talk about it. I think when you score, somebody just comes to you and starts dancing and you just go with the flow.
Tabu wants to get on the score sheet. He won't, but Vincent Onyala will. Oh, yes. Kenya, far too good for South Africa here in Hamilton, and they've got all the moves to prove it.
There'll be a lot of questions asked around South Africa, but there'll be a lot of dancing and celebrating for the Kenyans. That is fantastic to see.
Never going to be easy against a highly motivated team that are keen to push out a win against South Africa, who they haven't in a while. So, yeah, was going to be a tough game, and I think, credit to them. I think they used opportunities and they were just, fired up, and I think they wanted it more.
South Africa, New Zealand's opponents in the last two finals, were gone. Would the home crowd be celebrating a home victory? New Zealand, along with England, France and Australia, would contest the men's semi-finals. It was the first time the women's side had played a series event in front of the Hamilton faithful. Brilliant against China, England and Fiji in the pool stage, in those three matches, 14 tries came from just two players. Michaela Blythe on one wing, her compatriot on the other. Yes, in Stacey's case, the name on the back of the shirt may be different, but the results are much the same.
Action.
My name is Stacey Waka. Nope, I'm not a Waka anymore. Yes, Stacey Waka is no longer in the team. It is Stacey Flula. I managed to marry the man of my dreams, and although I have a new name, I always told the girls I will still be the same Stacey when I made this team.
Married in Hamilton 4 weeks prior to the tournament starting, Stacey may still have been getting used to the new moniker, but she was right at home in the Hamilton heat, and boy was it hot.
I've actually lived in Hamilton for the past 6 years, and it was extremely hot.
That's the temperature down at ground level.
We had a lot of wet towels going around to help us. We had ice vests in training. We used slushies. We used every single thing that we could to help us cool down that tournament.
14 minutes in 40-degree heat. Not easy. And in the semi-final against France, New Zealand would play two of them without their form player.
Oh yeah, I got a yellow card.
Well, she's in the sin bin, Stacey Flula, off the restart.
I was really gutted, but our team worked well together with 6 players on the field. So for us to come out of that on the other side and actually win that was awesome for our whānau and friends watching.
New Zealand through to a third consecutive final. In Dubai, they'd face Canada. In Cape Town, Australia. They'd face one of the two again in Hamilton.
They're going a long way backwards, got to keep composed, and now Landry takes them on going forward. Well, she'd been pretty quiet in this match, but she's always got something up her sleeve. Ghislaine Landry puts Canada into the cup final.
Yeah, I guess beforehand there was a lot of pressure put on us, but we've had a lot of training with our mental skills coach, and he said it's not pressure, it's an opportunity. So we flipped it around on the other side of the coin, and we thought this is an opportunity for us to go and leave mana in New Zealand, because that's our goal when we travel around the world. Mana to us is about what other people say about our team. So wherever we go, it's about what we leave behind. So it's the small things we do when we're around the world, not just about winning tournaments. It's about just being nice and kind humans wherever we go, because life's a better place when we have nice people around us, and that's essentially our goal when we go travelling around the world.
Broughton trying to get around the outside now. She gets it for Blythe. There's the step, and finally for New Zealand. Boy, they had to be patient.
Yes, it was a close match, and we fought right to the end. We never doubt ourselves. We know we're a second half team, but I guess the atmosphere in the crowd helped us.
And as Blythe steps away, can she accelerate away? Oh, it's a change of direction, and now the pace. Michaela Blythe busts them open.
The passion, the pride, and the mana we showed out there in that black jersey helped us with the win.
Less than a minute to go for New Zealand to seal this off. Canada, again, we've thrown so much at them, and Flula once more. Oh, now she's having fun as Stacey getting through the gap. Stacey Flula, new name, same great player, and the delight of the New Zealand team. Pure joy. They wanted this so badly. A long, long time they've had to wait to play a World Series event in front of their friends, their family, their home fans. 3 tournament wins in a row. This one, perhaps the most special of them.
The Black Ferns Sevens win their 14th straight. For the men, an old rival awaited in the semi-final. Would Australia break hearts in Hamilton?
You know, New Zealand versus Australia is a bit of a rivalry anyway. When we play them in New Zealand or Australia, it's got a bit more into it, so we knew it was going to be a really tough game, and it went right down to the wire.
Webber gives chase, now delays a switch. It's a beautiful ball for Hutchison, right up the middle.
For the first time New Zealand's been put under pressure in this tournament.
Australia, surprise leaders at half-time. That one brought in by Australia. Dixon on the mark there to make the shot. Brilliant from NZ. Surely they score here, New Zealand. Regan Ware's feet are too slick. He takes 5 off the deficit. Penalty advantage here for New Zealand. Collier strolls it in. New Zealand reclaim the lead.
They had the ball at the end there, and we managed to counter-ruck and get it back, and it was awesome to have that crowd with us that last minute, and they've got their home tournament coming up, so that'll be one to look forward to.
Next week, home field advantage will belong to Australia. For now, it is New Zealand's. In the other semi-final, France and England were all tied up at 5 apiece when, with time running out, Terry Braquois delivered the killer blow. France were through to the final. It had been 15 years since they last won a 7 Series event, but all that mattered to the Hamilton crowd was the 4 years it had been since the home side last lifted the trophy in New Zealand.
The final was a pretty tough match, to be honest.
France v New Zealand, gold medal time.
France is an awesome team. They got a lot of passion. They got a lot of big boys.
Seeger having a little look in tight. Seeger gets it through, and the bootlace pickup from Verandamu is outrageous.
We just tried to focus on the first 7 minutes and how we were going to execute on attacking D.
New Zealand with a chance to extend here right on half-time. Over to Mulia, looks up, has Ware out wide. Regan Ware! Difference is 7.
In the second half there, our bench really came on, lifted our performance, and with the home crowd behind us, we managed to get the win, and it was pretty special for us to win in Hamilton, especially with the women winning before us. It's good to get the double win.
Here they come one more time, tips it on to Curry, and Scott Curry puts some sugar on it for New Zealand. We have a new benchmark in the world of sevens, and that is New Zealand
New Zealand had started the new year as they ended the last, winning men's and women's titles at the same event, but never will victory taste any sweeter than in their own rugby-loving nation.
It was brilliant winning the Hamilton Sevens. Playing at home for the first time, what more could you want really? I guess the most special moment for us was performing the haka at home in New Zealand. It's a big icon towards Māoris, towards just the Kiwi spirit. So to be out there and performing it in front of people who know what the haka is, who knows what it truly means, was really special for us. And I know the girls showed a lot of passion and a lot of pride in performing it, because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to leave mana right there in Hamilton.
Next time on 24/7s, we travel to Sydney, Australia, where we shine the spotlight on the speedsters.
Woo! Speed is everything in Sevens rugby.